when everybody keeps saying, oh, they're using evidence to charge these guys, there's no actual count on the indictment that said a lyric. These are supporting facts for the counts. They're charged with gang violence. How do you know these people are in a gang? Well, he has a gang tattoo. I know you might want to say that's just art. That might be spray paint, graffiti. I'm sorry, brother. If 20 y'all niggas got but I don't know if you can say nigga on your stream, so my bad. I
no, you can say it.
But if there's 20 people with a gang tattoo, and this is something that's very known, or if you're rapping about certain stuff that's just actual crimes, freedom of speech just stops somewhere. And I know you believe that. You don't think that people could just snitch. Yo, this not even freedom of speech. It's called self-snitching.
Yeah, it is.
If you cheat on your taxes, right?
It is. It is called self-snitching.
Made a song saying,
no, it is called self-snitching. But here's the thing. I get that. But when you are establishing a case, I think the supporting factors, the supporting evidence is infinitely more important than just using rap lyrics. Now, do I think, by the way, you said Fannie Willis is the queen. I'm a little bit more critical. I think that this move to lock up Young Thug, Gunna, and other YSL affiliated rappers, I think that was for publicity. Have they committed crimes? Allegedly, it seems like they have. Okay.
No. Because again, I like to extrapolate because I'd never want to just talk only culture that people be like, oh, we're talking about something he doesn't know. You know the criminal justice system, my guy. You maybe not particularly in Fulton County, Georgia, but let's be honest. Bonnie Willis isn't listening to an album and be like, yo, indictment. You know this is
no. I understand, but they're using, but it's a dangerous precedent to set when you're using rap lyrics specifically to tie in other people in a RICO charge, right? Because if you're looking at racketeering and you're saying this is now considered organized crime, if you're saying like YSL is now considered organized crime, is an organized criminal component, I think that does set a dangerous precedent because of the way that rap music is usually just a reflection of people's realities about what they're talking about. All of a sudden, you throw up a gang sign, or all of a sudden you're saying like you're from a particular gang. You might not have actually done anything wrong, but you're just simply saying you're in a gang. But now, if you've rapped about it, you are literally you're literally culpable. And I think that is an unfair way to over prosecute black people when there is already a problem with white supremacy within the criminal justice system. This does not absolve Young Thug and his criminal actions originally, or his continued potential involvement in criminal actions. But I think Gunna is a great example, I would say. I mean, you're locking people up for things that they may have done in the past, and your association in that overarching case is specifically that they were part of the record label, that they were, throwing up signs. Like I think that's a silly way to do it. Free Gunna is what I'm saying.
Hold on. No, well, first of all, you see, I hate to argue on the opposite side of this, but I'm just arguing on the point of facts.
I mean, you did call the DA a queen, so.
Nah, the DA. Hey, listen. If you understand, especially and you ask anybody who really live in Atlanta, crime over the last 5 to 7 years has gotten out of control. It's I don't want to say there's some loose correlation with rap there becoming
come on. Yeah, now that Young Thug is in jail, I'm sure that crime has been solved. Like, come on, that has nothing to do with that. It's poverty. Poverty is what causing people to fucking rob other people.
Anybody who lives in Atlanta, if they will actually be honest, right? They don't have to just admit it publicly. Admit it to themselves. The problem in Atlanta is a bunch of rappers who call themselves gangsta has got mad money, mad resources, and think they're above the law. That's the fact. Crime over the years have gotten worse because these guys think they're operating without impunity.
Wait, you think the crime rate in Atlanta has something to do with rappers individually acting with impunity? I don't agree with that. I think when we're talking about crime, it's such a larger problem. It's such a larger problem than individual rappers.
It's the only problem. But trust me, them niggas in Atlanta, they're thinking there is no repercussion for how they're moving. You know why this RICO was dropped? they're shooting cops. Every black person or any criminal or anybody who does anything will know, you start shooting cops, they're coming after you. These dudes are getting so emboldened, they're shooting police officers. Of course, Ricos are going to come down. If they were only killing people in their inner cities, we've seen. Look at Chicago. You don't see
they popped YSL affiliates for not shooting at cops, but for shooting, other members of their community, like ops.
Here's the problem that happened. There was a guy whose name is Nut. Okay, he got killed, and before this DA got in the position she got in, she swore to the family, "I'm going to solve that murder." That murder is the quintessential core of this whole YSL indictment. By the way, there's another gang indicted called YFN. Both of their beefs is centered about this one individual that she promised that, "Mom, I'm going to solve that murder." Okay, let's put that to the side. She locked up one group, right? Which was the group of that allegedly was cool with the people that she was going to solve the murder for. But whatever. Then a cop gets shot. He didn't die. And you will see they realize the guy who allegedly did the shooting is part of this quote-unquote YSL and been shooting mad people. So you know what they did? And she did a bold move because people weren't using these gang charges. Because this is how they file RICOs in state level in Georgia. They do the gang charge with a racketeering thing. Nobody was doing it until she says enough is fucking enough. Everybody was getting on Atlanta. Atlanta was never, the crime rate has tripled over the last couple of years. And she said, "I'm dropping these indictments." And trust me, these rappers are outside giving out water, going to church, getting baptized. They're like, you know what I mean? They're giving their life to God. They want no more smoke. And you got it thanks to the Queen Fonnie Willis. Sorry. Hey, listen, I know you want to defend these communities, but trust me, it would be someone like me or a family member of mine that would live in these communities. We not jacking the dudes who just shooting up indiscriminately. Once you start shooting a cop, there is no type. Once you're shooting cops, you don't care nothing about the community.
Okay, first of all, some might say that cops are the most violent gang in the way that they deal with these sorts of communities, but that's not the point here. Obviously,
look at the crime rate of Atlanta. I'm telling you, we could Google it right now together.
Wait, am I crazy? I feel like crime in Atlanta, Georgia, has decreased since 2009, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but that would be consistent with the rest of the country. For the record. This is a media narrative where people constantly talk about crime being a crime wave. And this is something I talk about quite frequently. I've done a bunch of videos on this, specifically in Los Angeles. I've talked about this. Homicides have increased, certainly in Los Angeles, for example. And yet property crime has fairly consistently diminished. And this is not numbers that people are making up. This is the cops, this is their own numbers.
Like you have a distrust for police officers already, which I think we all do. But here's the thing, and this is just undoubtedly gang-related violence in Atlanta.
Okay, so not overall crime. You're talking about gang-related violence.
I mean, well, again, obviously, there's going to be more focus, at least within the black community, on communities where African Americans are, right? So that's usually places where gang violence is more prone to happen. But I know without a doubt, gang violence has increased. And from what I know, overall violence has increased, at least since this DA has taken office.